Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me on another video. Hopefully you're enjoying them and hopefully this is entertaining. I wanted to continue on from last week's video where we discovered, or at least determined, produced decimal places for the circle's constant pi. Um, we used Archimedes' method of exhaustion um, to exhaust the space between the polygons of increasing size and the circle itself. And in doing so, we approximated pi using the circumference, or at least proportioning the circumference by its 2 times its radius, or its diameter. So along similar veins, we're going to do the same thing. However, instead of the hexagon, we're going to use the square. So you could also do this with a square. I realized I'm not sure if Archimedes. Well, actually, yes, I'm sure Archimedes was well aware that you could use it with a square, or you can start the bases off with a square. However, I'm sure he chose the hexagon because it meant you were at least working with one step where there was an equilateral triangle. So you'd start off with the premise of S6, or your first iteration equaling 1. If you have 4 sides, i.e. the square, you're going to start with square roots very, very quickly, or right from the get-go. I'm sure that didn't really matter. Archimedes would eventually come across an issue with the using the square anyway, or using the hexagon. He would only have to wait. He'd only have to wait until iteration 2 until he'd hit square roots. So let's draw this up. I'm gonna put forward the formulation first with the diagram. So let's go to Paint. We're on Paint, and I've drawn a similar diagram here where you've got the circle, and I've inscribed a square inside. So again, the same thing, we're going to keep on doubling the number of sides. We're starting off with the square, and forget the paint, we're going to simply take this square first, or this triangle, and that's not an equilateral, it's an isosceles triangle. So you've got 1 and 1 over here, and we know from the work of Pythagoras theorem, that the remaining square, this chord over here, is root 2. So Archimedes was well aware of the works of Pythagoras. The Pythagoras theorem survived the Peloponnesian Wars, 431 to 404 BC, and it was inscribed in Euclid's Elements when Euclid was formulating in 300 BC. I believe the Elements itself was not compiled by Euclid. I think it was only up until somewhere between 323 to 350 BC, probably a lot longer, that it was actually being compiled. I don't know who Euclid used as a publicist or a publisher. Penguin, Simon and Schuster, John Wiley and Sons. I have no idea. I have no idea who compiled this list. The point is, Archimedes had Pythagoras' theorem, and he could have used it to figure out that first length there, S6, is equal to S4 even. Sorry, we're dealing with fours. S4 is equal to root 2. So next he wanted to increase or double the number of sides. He wanted to up the ante here, and he wanted to introduce an octagon now. So I'm going to sort of shorthand it here because there's no actual octagon in Paint. But if there was, I hope you I hope you get the point here, get the picture. So it'll look something like that where I'm making up in lines here. So that's what an octagon is, and you can see we're already filling up the space. And so the octagon would give us a much better approximation to pi. So now if I consider this here triangle now, I'm going to break it down. It's going to look something like this triangle here. So I'm splitting that up into 2 pieces, right? So top and bottom. So what would that mean is that, again, this length here is the radius, and we're going to use the height of this triangle. This will be height of 8, an 8-sided polygon. This will be the length here, and we know that this is all 1. This is also the radius. That line here corresponds to that line there. And here we have the previous line here. That will be S4, which is root 2, which we know. And here we have S8. So I'll continue on before I make a point. So we know what S4 is. We're going to use Pythagoras' theorem again to calculate H8. And we're going to use H8 to calculate L8. And then we're going to combine L8 and S4 to produce S8. And the point is, we keep on doing this. We keep on doubling the number of sides using this exact same method. So I have another visual. So this is I don't know. This is S8. This is 1 over here. This is 1 over here. And I've drawn this blue line here, which is going to be at right angles. It's not to scale, obviously. And this will be M8. Okay, so M8, we can again use Pythagoras' theorem. M8 will equal 1 minus half of S8 squared, which we would have calculated from the previous steps, I suppose squared for the sake of completeness. And this will be M. And then we could find out the whole area of this triangle. So that would be area of one of these triangles, of 8. And that would simply be, what was that? 8 times half of S8 times by M8. So then, now that we have that, we can approximate pi as per an 8-sided polygon. And that would simply be 8, or the number of sides, times by the area of one of these triangles. Okay, so you can see what we're doing. We've gone from one variable to another variable to another variable, and that variable feeds into 8 over there, and then that will feed into, or factors into area, and that will factor into pi. And we simply keep on doing this until we run out of processing power, or back in Archimedes' day, until the sun went down, or whatever, until the candles went out, whatever it may be. You exhaust the space, and it wasn't called the method of exhaustion simply because we were not because the person carrying out the steps got exhausted doing this. Bear in mind they didn't have a calculator; it would have been pretty damn exhausting. But we were simply exhausting the space. So let's try and keep that in mind when we go forward. Bearing in mind we're still using, I suppose, algebra. We didn't have a basis of radians. Radians, again, was discovered in 1714. Roger, what was it? Roger, his name, I forgot his last name. Roger Coates, sorry. Roger Coates, a student of the great Sir Isaac Newton, figured this out. And Sir Isaac Newton, interestingly, he was knighted in 1705 by Queen Anne, not for his scientific achievements, but for his service as the warden and subsequent master of the Royal Mint, where his works were about reforming England's coinage system, and preventing and combating counterfeiting. So recall the Bank of England received its charter in, was it 1692, 1694, one of those years. So the work to preserve the integrity of the English monetary system back then was, it needed to happen. So, so that's it. So Sir Isaac Newton, he probably used the concept of, let's say, sound money. When you bang a coin against a piece of wood or drop it from a piece of height, it makes a sound. So it wasn't Sir Isaac Newton who formulated that. And I'm saying this, let's go back here. I'm saying this, there is a certain person out there who does not want to hear this story again. I don't even think they heard it in its entirety, but they know who they are watching, and I know you're not going to hear it, but that's the story. So I digress. So Sir Isaac Newton also, he was the last person, I believe, to be knighted under the Union of England and Wales. In 1707, that's when the Union of England, Wales, and Scotland came along. 1707. So when Scotland, England, and Wales joined together to make Great Britain as we know it. It'll be another 100 years until we have the United Kingdom as we know it. A good help was, yes, England was pushing for union. Scotland wanted union as well. The Darien Scheme disaster pushed Scotland in that direction as well. Who knows, when Scotland strolled into Panama, they did so without riding on elephants. Who knows, maybe they could have learned from Hannibal. Maybe not. Hannibal didn't even win the Punic Wars anyway, despite the elephant. I digress. Let's get on with this. Let's create a script. So I'm going to open a new instance of C#. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to show you this, and this is the formulation here, where we have general formula for the height, which feeds into the length, which feeds into the chord length S4, which leads into the M4 or higher orders, area, etc. So you can see it's iterative, and I think something's wrong here. Let's go back to the script. Or is it? It's U, isn't it? You're squared. Sorry, you're squared. And get the U. There we go. So yeah, there we go. So that's the formulation. It's iterative. And I think what's gone wrong, you remember before with the table, it sort of collapsed into zeros after 10 rows, I think it was, 16 rows, I can't remember. And that's because we got square roots on top of square roots. And I think that's causing a bit of an issue here. So with this way, I hope we can eliminate that. So let's go to C#. Okay, let's start building. Okay, so this time I will use big integer from the start. At least now I know if I do it that way, I can keep tabs on it and build as I go through. So um, this here is I'm using the namespace now. Exhaustion pi. Okay. So I'll come back to that. So now I can start building. Okay, so now I create the class within there. Class within that program. Okay, so static void. So let's introduce that in string args. Okay. Okay, so now, like before, we want a maximum number of rows by which we will create this or produce or by doubling. How many doubles are we going to make? Let's say 50, actually. No, let's just produce 10 so far. So let's start building the first line. So, no. Concentrate. What are you doing? Dull it. Okay. And I'm going to close you up here anyway. So close. What happened here? Oh, okay. An extra dot. You. Okay, so what is your index? Index here, length 5. Okay, now what I need, what is it? The polygon side. So how many sides of the polygon? And I'm going to give that a width of 35 because that's going to need it. Then what's the next one? It's going to be the height. Height. No. No. Okay, and I'll give you a width of 21. Length. What do I want to give you? Just make out some numbers, I suppose. Um, Side. So what is that? The actual length of the side. Okay, and what is the next one? M21. Okay, and this will be your thus pi number. Okay, and I'm also going to put you in at 21. So that should be it, and that would correspond here. And I'm going to indicate I want a new string down there. So new string. Okay, give it a, no, it's not that. New dash it, give it a dash space. So I'm just going to allow for the string to continue. Okay, so good. So now we want to set what's called the initial. I don't want to write initial conditions. So remember before we had the initial conditions, S4 is equal to 6. So the initial condition, we're going to start this off. What is it? 2? No. Oh yeah, start from 1 because it goes down an index. So the previous side, remember from Pythagoras' theorem, we have the math, and I'm not going to forget the square root is a capital here. It's 2. Square root 2 double the area. So the previous area, bear in mind this is all iterative. We rely on the previous length. The previous area is 0.5. So I didn't show that in the previous diagrammatic, but best believe it is. So the pi previous is equal to 2. Okay, so it's very far off, but yeah, if we have a four-sided shape, 0.5 is the area of the triangle, times that by 4, we get 2. So that's the area of the square, it's 2. Okay, what am I doing? Concentrate. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, okay. So now we need to, this will be printing the base case. So printing the initial condition, let's say. Print the initial condition. Okay, what am I doing? So, big integer. See, there we go. I knew I wrote it down early for a reason. Polygon size is equal to big integer power to start the index. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. And so now we need to write that all again. Oh my gosh, concentrate. How did I do this before? Okay. Yeah. No. Concentrate. Okay. I'm going to copy all that down again so I don't have to write it, but I know I need that. Yep. 21. I think I need to, you're giving me an error. I think it's that I need to end that. No, I don't. I've all, dear. Okay. That's wrong. And that is wrong. There we go. Okay. So I need to write that down here. Nope, I'm not going to write that down because that doesn't contain the correction. I'm going to write U. There you go. I need U. That's it. Go word. So, index. I'm not writing the index anymore. This will be the concentrate one. Start index. That's still going to be 5. Now, I still need. No, I don't. No. These are not variables anymore. Okay. Parameters? I'm defining. I've already defined them, so I don't need. No, I don't think I guess I didn't need to copy it. Concentrate. 35. I still want the 35. Okay, so now get rid of the height. Yeah, so that thing I wrote earlier was I can't remember where it's gone. That I can't remember. Where is it? There, that's what I wanted. Yeah, so these are all sort of filling in as parameters, let's say. Okay, so uh, side, the previous side, oops. Side previous. Okay, so this again we're iteratively building on here. In fact, no, sorry, this is the base case, sorry, so I don't need it. Okay, so you get rid of you and so what side previous, I've forgotten this now. Side previous area 21. Oh, I forgot this now. Yeah, there's a blank. There's a blank. I'm missing a blank somewhere. Yeah, index 5 polygon sides. Height 21. Length. Concentrate. Length side M area. That's it. So I forgot one here. Area. So the area of the single triangle. Yeah. Area of the single. Area of single. Area of single. What do I want that to be? And 21. I believe that's 21. Anyway. Yep. So concentrate. Okay. No, pi previous. Yeah, will equal, and give that 21 F naught. Okay, so why no, that should be closed. I'm trying to concentrate. This is root 21, area 21, area prev. No, that's it. It's area because I don't need that. Ah, rats. Okay, prev 21, and I need that as F1, and I need you to go. But there's something else in my way. Because something is incorrectly being defined. Yeah, it's you. I didn't need you, so that's causing everything to go awry. Good. Yeah, I think we're fine now. Good. Okay. Good. So, good. Concentrate. So now we need to iterate. Sorry, this is the iteration. Now everything's being introduced. Well, the next lines will be introduced. This is calculating pi and everything else, building on the base case. So int k equals start of the index plus 1. Okay, then uk is going to be less than or equal to the max index. I was hoping to finish this off. I think this might take a bit longer than. Okay, no, come on. Okay, great. Now let's concentrate. Is that all I wanted? I think that's correct. Yeah. Double side equals side previous. Yeah. So now we're going to introduce the polygon sides now. So polygon, big integer. So nope. Power. 2 to the power of k. So this will be the sides of the polygon. So now we need to simply introduce everything else. So the height of this thing is going to equal the square root of 1 minus a quarter of whatever that thing was that I wrote down earlier. So I'm just trying to do this from memory. Okay, so that's that. Side current. No issues found so far, so this is good. Double length equals the 1 minus height. Okay, and the side length now is going to equal the square root. Thank you. Length, so the previous length times the length plus 0.25 times side, the side length, or the chord length, that is. Okay, sued, code of our sued, not here. What else is it? Area, double area, no, area, like pi is m. M equals the math square root 1 minus quarter, because it's squared, quarter of the side times the side. It's one, okay, so it's still, there's no issues found. Double area equals 0.5 times the side times the height of the inner triangles. And so pi would thus equal double polygon sides across the area. Okay, so I think that's correct. And it's no, you see no issues down here, but nothing's actually going to output. So we need to print all of that. Console right line, okay? Going down here. I'm going to end that preemptively. Do I want to copy that again? I think no, because I know how much trouble I get when I do that. So let's simply output this 5. That's the index. Okay, polygon sides. All right. No, I may as well simply copy all this, shouldn't I? No, polygon. Go away. Polygon sides. 35. So this is now what height. And give that. So this first number is the width of the actual column. The next number that I'm typing in is the number of decimal places that I want to associate. Okay, so length 21. Oops. And this will also be 17. Why 17? Well, why not? Yes. No, what's going on? It's supposed to give me a close there. It's not giving me a close. Why not? No? Okay, never mind. F17. M area. It's supposed to be closing it off. Why is it not closing it off? Maybe because I've already closed off the actual console right line. Maybe it thinks I'm finished. 17. Okay. No. 21. F17. So I think. See, no issues found. So we're fine now. And so this part here, this side cur equals side, this is what's going to keep shifting the iteration, let's say. It's not the best way to say it. And so here now, console, we don't need to write this line. Console right line, it's now done, let's say. Okay, so when it's all finished. So I think that's it. I think that's done. No issues found. Well, I think that's it. All we're doing here is making a table. There's the initial conditions. This is the actual header. This is the first row right here, which outputs these initial conditions. And this is those formulas that you see earlier that I wrote on the HTML. And this is, here is simply iterating going forward. So nothing left to do but run this. So let's see, 10 rows so far. This should be done fairly quickly. Or not. Good. Okay, so that's fine. I think that worked out okay. Dear, what happened there? Right. Can I align that? Or not? Do I even need to align that? I think I did something wrong. It's simply the width, isn't it? Yeah. Area of the single. Oh, I forgot to do something there. One sec. What did I do? Area of single. Yeah. Okay. Well, first and foremost, you need to be. What about now? No, it's still not doing it. Not that this matters. I mean, where did it go wrong? Length, maybe? Length 21. Okay. 35. 21. No, I can't see what's wrong with it. I don't know why it's doing that. 21. Everything should be 21. You know what? It doesn't matter. Maybe I should just call you something. I don't know. Area. Just call you area. I'm not going to put too much time into this. If it ain't working, I don't really care. It's only the first line. Okay. Not working. Not working. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's simply go a bit all out here. So what happens? 100. Good. Okay. So now we're starting to see a bit more. Wow. Look at that. And if someone could pronounce that word with a straight face, there we go. But you can see on the right, this is pi. This is really annoying me. I have no idea why it's defaulting like that. Yeah, okay, 17, 25, 21, 25, 21. Whatever, who cares? So there you go. You can see on the right, it's simply defaulting to pi 3.141592653589793. I don't know. There you go. What is it? That's the closest we got to as many decimal places. So after 27 iterations, there you go. But you can see what's going on here. This is the height of the triangle is tending to the radius of the circle, which is 1. So this 1, 2, 3 column down here. So the height. Okay, so what's happening on the left? L is 1 minus I, so this should quite rightly tend to 0, which it is. The chord length. No, not the chord length. Okay, SK. Something's not tending to 0. I've forgotten something, haven't I? That's fine. Yeah, that's it. That's right. Side previous. No, that's it. What have you done here? Side prev F0, 21. Have I missed something here? Yeah. Height, length, M. Silly boy. Height, length. I've got something here. It's side 21, F17. So that should. There we go. There we go. Okay, there. So yeah, you can see the still on the line. Who cares? The chord length itself is also tending to 0. The mid triangle length M, that's also tending to 1. The area of the intermediary triangles is also tending to 0, while pi simply tends to pi. So that's brilliant. But what can I get out of it? 3.141592653589793. No, okay, it's breaking down again. Let's simply go all the way here. Let's I don't know, 1,000. That should give us an idea of what's going on. Okay, so that's simply done it seamlessly. Okay, I don't think I want that. But you can see we've got a problem. On the very right column here, it's 0. Pi is simply 0 now. So why is that? Where does it start to fall apart? 3.14, what is this? 540, 550, something like that. It starts to go to 0, but why? I get the feeling one of these is actually hitting 0. One of these numbers is hitting 0. Okay, I think that's why. So I don't want to have to do this, but let's simply turn this up to the max a bit. Okay, so let's see, 37. Let's have 37 decimal places here. Let's simply go for it. 37, 37. Okay, 37. Is that it? Sorry, did I do it? Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. Uh, okay. I don't think I need 1,000 rows anymore, but you can see, and I don't think I need the number of sides either. God, look at that. It's graceful, isn't it? 540. Okay, so you can see it here. It's starting to fall to 0, but you can see 0. I hate this font. 0, 0, 0, 0. And how many even sides is that? I think we get the point. I don't think we even need the number of sides. So I'll do 539. Anyway, I can get rid of that. Can I get rid of that? K5 polygon sides. Can I? No, 35 sides. You get the point. Good. And I wanted to get rid of that. 500. What was it? 550 or something? I think it was, yeah, 550. And I'm going to do something else. I'm going to put another, simply separate these so I can see what exactly is going on. Okay. Good. So, right, so here, 0, 0, 0. Everything is 0, but I want to see something is, there's going to be a point here where something simply hits 0. Okay, try this again. I don't know, 87. 87. Oops, come on, concentrate. Okay, now, what do we have? Okay, still 3.14, still getting, okay, here we go, 3.14. What are we getting? So nothing looks like 0 so far. Well, I mean, they're all zeros. Hang on. Oh, no, I've had enough of this. I get the feeling a lot of you at home have too. I'm almost done. Okay, that should do it. It's a lot of decimals now. So, 0, 0, 0, 0. So where was the last instance of 3.14? So 3.14, 3.14, 3.14, 592, 3.14. No, 530, 3 point, no, not even that. 3.16. That's gone wrong. 3.14. All right, but at least when does it turn to 0 here? So, 500. Make a note of this. 540. No, what is it? 4 here. 540. Item number 540. Now it hits 4. Can I just make this bigger? So we've got 540 here. 4. Yeah, so we still get the area of the triangle, the individual triangle. That's still something. But then after 541, the area of the triangle simply hits 0. And so now, with the area of the triangle equals 0, anything times 0, pi is simply defaulting to 0. But that doesn't explain why this is going to 4. It's fine. 3.1415. Nope, not there. 3.141592. 3.1492. No. 6.5. I don't know, but I think you see it. Yeah, down here, it's simply losing control somewhere. That's hit 0. That's gone straight to 1. That's gone straight to 1. 0. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's 0. It's there. It is. But I think yeah. Sorry, just one last. Just put that right. Just one. Let's just bring that back to normal. 17, 17, 17, 17, and 17. Okay, and I'll leave that to just run for a bit. While I narrate to the end. So, guys, thank you again so much for joining me on this. It's oh, yeah. Okay. No, I'm not going to end on that. I want to end on something that looks remotely nice. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll end this video here, and hopefully this gives you an idea of what Archimedes tried to do in order to calculate pi. There's another method I want to examine next week. So I'll save another video for next week, but I'll end this here. But again, hopefully you can see 3.1.141596535. And that's just how it goes on. That's how he did it. And this method would have been around for Archimedes. Archimedes, I don't believe, again, he wasn't aware that pi was an irrational number. And I made the point last week. Johann Lambert in 1768 proved that pi is irrational. And you remember from the previous episode on Pythagorean triplets that in the year after 1768 plus 1, Euler formulated the sum of powers conjecture. So maybe Johann Lambert was inspired by Euler's work. I don't know, but in Euler in 1747-50, Euler was working on continued fractions, infinite series. Who knows? Maybe that influenced Johann Lambert, and that's how he figured it out. So who knows? Anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Give me let me know your thoughts, your comments, etc. And yeah, I'll see you in the next see you next week in the next episode. Thanks so much. See you soon.